Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into Studio de Jeffrey. My name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
Is that the My Name is Jeff or is that the Cavanaugh?
Cavanaugh!
Either way, we good. Got to take advantage of the algorithm when you can. Cowboys beat the Chiefs, and we love it. We love it. So come on in. Talk to me, my people. Talk to me, my people. Somebody said like the countdown. I'll tell you a secret. I put that countdown in there so that I could finish smashing a bite of food. And because when it tells me I'm live, I'm usually live like 5 seconds before that. So all my videos, it's like before it starts. So yeah, I can get you with a hey, Bri.
Hey, Bri.
All right, now the question is playoff dreams after the Cowboys beat the Chiefs. Is it the hot dog or is it the bun?
Now this is a hot dog bun.
I think it's a hot dog, too.
And you guys know all I care about is playing it. Is that a hot dog or is it the bun situation? Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Thanksgiving. I want to shout out my family who shouldn't be watching, but they might be. I know that they do. Shout out to my family who makes Thanksgiving on Friday so that I can work on Thursday. That's very kind of them. Yeah, we on fire. We on fire. Did I eat turkey today? No. I just heated up a frozen bowl of chicken with broccoli and zucchini, and I got to eat about a third of it because you got to take advantage of the algorithm. You got to get going after the Cowboys win. And what a glorious Cowboys win for a number of reasons. And I'm going to start with two of them. You can tell me why you think it's a glorious win. Sorry, I was in a hurry to get this thing going. I had 3 dogs I had to feed, make sure they went to the bathroom, but didn't jump in the pool, make the food. I didn't have time to throw in my pouch. Just bought the Shiesty shirt. Nice. Michael's already in the super chat. Look at what being more aggressive in trading and free agency can get you, Jerry. F them picks and that pie. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, when you actually devote the resources required to add good players, you tend to have a better chance to get the good players. And no, Roman Wolf Gaming, we are not going to do a mock draft right now. We're not going to do it. We get to push it off a week. I almost feel bad because I'm behind Broadus on watching these draft guys, but the Cowboys keep winning, so I keep watching them to get ready for the next guy. And he's a psycho with his work ethic. I don't know if I'll ever catch up, but I'll get 200 guys watched. We'll be ready for that. This team is finally tough. And I don't even know if it's tough so much as it's now they have Quinnen Williams on their team. You know, the Cowboys torpedoed themselves right before the season started because they had a gigantic difference maker that made everybody on their defense better. And right before the season started, they shipped them off because Jer got mad. And so you weren't able to get your defense playing anything approaching decent football until you added another big-time difference maker. And so now that you got Quinnen Williams, everybody's better. Clowney's better. Kenny Clark's better. Oso Odighizuwa's better. Everybody's better because Quinnen Williams exists. The Kansas City Chiefs were not a team that didn't convert in short yardage. I don't have the numbers in front of me on what they did in this game, but I know there were at least 1 or 2 where Quinnen Williams destroyed something on like a 3rd and 2 and gave them a chance to stop a play. Chiefs are money in short yardage. They're money. Quinnen Williams changes things. The other 2 most important things to me about the way that the Cowboys won this football game is, one, I told you it was Recky Specky, what I was doing. I sat on the fence on the CeeDee Lamb situation because I could totally see how in his brain the massive success of George Pickens and how many people were talking about it and talking about you like he's a human. I could see that affecting him, and I could see it being him pressing, as Dak alluded to, right? But I also have 5 years of work of knowing how good CeeDee Lamb is at football. So I did predict he'd have a 100-yard day, but there was a part of my brain that was worried that he could be in a bad spot mentally, and you could see some of the effects of that. So the fact that not only did you beat the Chiefs, but you did it in a fashion where CeeDee Lamb was really good and not really good for a stretch or early or late, but all the way through. You know, that's one of the 5 or so best receivers in football, and he's fine. He's good. He's CeeDee Lamb. So we ain't got to worry about none of that. Sorry to those of you who are looking for the Shiesty shirts on alldls.com. Apparently the 3X sold out. Well, you're going to have to either eat something or run, right? You either got to go 4 or 2. You got to make a decision there. Quinnen Williams is a force multiplier, and it's awesome. It's glorious. It's grand. Hit the like button on your way in. So, yeah, That's important. That now you get to see, and this is going to be one of those things where if George Pickens is not here, like if you don't work out a long-term deal and you have to hardball and do the franchise tag, sure, it'll get awkward and it'll get messy and it'll get ugly, but ultimately he'll show up and play football because otherwise the year won't count and he'll be right back where he started. If you don't keep George Pickens around, you're ruining everything. This is the team that has a real chance because you have something that is overwhelming. What you have that is overwhelming is Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens. There was a point in this game where George Pickens was 3 catches on 9 targets. One was a drop, and I was like, man, we just can't have both our awesome receivers catch the football. And then some of them were just, the coverage or what they were in or whatever. But that doesn't mean that George Pickens wasn't playing well. And CD kicked butt. Like that is how you give yourself a chance. You have to be at least competent on your non-dominant side of the ball if you want to have a chance to actually win something. And so if you can be dominant offensively and you can be competent defensively, that's what gives you a chance. I would love to rewind this thing and trade for Quentin Williams before the season started, because then you might have 2 losses. You might be really in the hunt. As it is now, you probably have to hope that the Bears lose a bunch of games. Because I don't think when you look at their schedules and who the teams are, I don't think the Niners, you're not going to be able to catch them. They're 8-4, and they're currently the last playoff team. I think the Packers will track down the Bears for the division. And if they don't, I think their schedule still allows them to where you won't catch their record. What you need is the Bears, who have a tough schedule, to go from 8-3 to a 6 or 7 loss team. And will 6 do it? Because if they have 6 losses, they're 11-6. If you have 6 losses, you're 10-6-1. So that won't do it. You probably need the Bears to lose 4 games. You can pass the Lions on your own this week. We going to win the division? That would be amazing. I know the Eagles are falling apart, but they'll still stumble drunk to a couple of wins. And so the other greatest thing about this win, according to Jeff, is that Dak Prescott just beat the defending Super Bowl champs, and then he played one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and he beat him, and they had to make plays and execute in big-time situations to get it done, including times where they're getting penalties and backing themselves up. And a guy who, with a lot of people, has a rap of however you want to frame it, big moments, choke artists, whatever. Shut up. That dude just made the plays over and over. And that reputation, I know for some, or maybe even for a lot, it won't matter unless you do this in the postseason. But the playoff games that Dak has lost, I believe he's had the worst team. So it'd be great if you could just go into superhero mode. Not all of them. There's at least one. What was the one where they were the 1 seed or the 2 seed or whatever? You weren't the worst team that day. That was just a fart. But teams win Super Bowls. And I don't think that small sample sizes in football, you should shrink down even further and be like, oh, yeah, look, he's a worse player in this. It's like, no, I know who Dak is. I know the player he is. It's a really good NFL quarterback. Get there with a team as good as the other team, you got yourself a shot. Let me see here. Did I miss anything? Mark my words. The Eagles will lose 3 more games. How many do they have now? You sent them to what? 8-3. 3 more games isn't enough, is it? NFL standings. Eagles are 8-3, so 3 more losses would give them 6 losses. That would make them an 11-6 team. So yeah, if you got to 11-5-1, that is better. If you won out and the Eagles lost 3 games, then we'd have to check tiebreakers. It should be 1-1 against each other. I'd have to check tiebreakers. I think that's probably an optimistic way. I think that the way that you got a real chance is if the Bears kind of fall apart. But if the Eagles fall apart, that would be even better. And I mean, they are falling apart, but I mean, fall apart and lose all the football games. All right, y'all. What's happening? How you feeling? Corey's in here, says, I'm so amped. Why are there 2 streams, Mo said. I think it's because I started paying StreamYard. And so when I tell it I'm going to make a stream, it makes one that goes this way, which is like computer or TV friendly. And it makes one that goes this way, which I think is more phone friendly. I think that's what it's doing. I could tell it to kill one of them, maybe, but I don't know how technology works. Just glad to see Cowboy fans having optimism. It's been far too long. Yeah, and it hurts a little bit that the odds are so far against them to actually make the postseason this year. That hurts a little bit. But even for me, draft guy, I love drafting. I love tanking when you don't have a chance. But you've got the right pieces now, and the energy's fun, and playing good football is fun. If they had lost this game and if they had lost last week, it just wouldn't be fun. And I'd be talking about draft picks and wanting Dak to fake an injury, and like, that's not fun. It's fun when we get to the draft. But no, this is fun. Having a good team that's good on offense with 2 kick-ass receivers, the way Javonte runs, it's fun. Ooh. Thank God we ran the clock out. Pat would have scored. Probably true. But again, chalk that up. How did that happen? Because you've got the quarterback, you've got the receivers, and in a big-time moment when you had to not let that dude have the ball back, you didn't. You didn't do it. That's Cowboys doing work, baby. Eagles lose 3 and we win out. We win the division. All right, let's check the Eagles schedule. See what we're working with here. Can I find 3 losses on the Eagles schedule? They could lose to the Bears. They're both 8-3. They lose to the Bears, which is possible. Lose to the Chargers, not impossible. They're not going to lose to the Raiders. Commanders twice and Bills. They could lose 3 of those. And now your Cowboys had to be perfect. We have to go from this is an exciting team that's fun to watch and we got a chance to be fun and good and woohoo, let's see what happens. Now you're asking them to be perfect the rest of the way out, which would be tough. I'll be surprised if they don't lose a game. But hell, the way that they're footballing right now, go beat the Lions in a week. Let's just see. They kept giving GP the slant. It's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. And they do. And I get it. Like, he's such a vertical threat. But now it's been like 6 weeks of this dude running slants. And DBs are still terrified he's going vertical. And he gives them a little, and they are just, wee. And he's just, thanks. I'm going to jog on in this way. And then I'm going to raise hell after the catch. And I appreciate it. I appreciate teams giving that to him. I think it's wonderful. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. The entire team should wear shiesty masks to the Detroit game. Yeah, the team is fine. We as the general public probably don't need to, because I feel like people start calling the cops on us and stuff. Like, you can't just be walking into public establishments in your shiesty. I don't feel like it's just a good plan. But if you want to, I support your freedom to do that. How do you feel about the Vikings, though? Go through the schedule, please. Oh, the Vikings are dead. Vikings aren't doing nothing. You don't got to worry about the Vikings. I went Quinnen Williams on a ham today. That's nice. Any scoop why Butler isn't playing? I mean, so Josh Butler tweeted during the game that he was healthy and all that. And I'm like, you didn't need to tweet that. There's no reason to, like, what are you doing? What is your goal by doing that? Announcing to the world that you're healthy. They announced what they think about where you're at or the player that you are by elevating a practice squad guy instead of playing you. So, like, I don't know. I get it. You want to be involved. You want to, and probably a little bit of venting. Like, I'm healthy. Why aren't they saying that I'm healthy? Why aren't they letting me play? Because they would rather that somebody else play. So that was just weird. I don't know why he tweeted that. Probably didn't need to do that. Did you see Jerry eating a big old turkey leg during postgame presser? I didn't, but that sounds fun. Eat me a big old turkey leg tomorrow. How do you make your turkey? Smoked, fried, baked, etc. I do believe now the fried turkey can maintain some moisture, but the year that I smoked a turkey, I've never had a better turkey in my life. Never had a better turkey in my life than when I smoked one. Because you get all that flavor and you keep that moisture in. You know, turkey will go dry now. You're either injecting or you're a hell of a chef if you are baking a turkey and it ain't dry. I salute you. Because I've had a lot of them. That's a product that wants to go dry on you. You smoke that bad boy, you'll be in good shape. So yeah, we did it. Murray needs less reps. I did notice that when it was nut cutting time, if you will, that they did have Logan Wilson in. They're late in the fourth quarter. So that was nice. Who do we go for tomorrow? Let me see here. I think, God, that's tough. That's tough. I think it's more likely that the Bears are the team that give you a chance to make the playoffs than the Eagles. But either one cracks a door open for you. But the Bears, they could lose to the Eagles. Then they go to Green Bay, which I would pick them to lose that game. Then they'll beat Cleveland. Then Green Bay comes to them, which I bet they'll be an underdog again. Then they go to San Francisco, where they'll probably be a dog again. Then they host the Detroit Lions, where they'll probably be a dog again. The Bears will probably be the underdog in 5 of their 6 games remaining. I think that's your way in. I think that's your way in. The way K9 got beat to the flat on 4th and 1. Which one was that? Because I remember there was that a 4th down when it wasn't Murray? It was, I think it was Wilson. But they just had a really good play design where they had guys coming this way and you had a choice. You can either come up under this thing and be behind the guy that you got to tackle, or you can, you're probably talking about the unused tight end guy who did the thing. I'd have to go rewatch it. Root for the Bears. The Eagles have been proven to crack under pressure. I like that. Believe me, nothing would make me happier than the Eagles absolutely falling all the way apart, losing their stuff and losing like 4 games. That would be absolutely incredible. Murray and Bridges are a liability. Yeah, towards the end there, I meant to look it up because I went straight from postgame to postgame. Because there was times when Bridges was out there and Bland wasn't out there. Let me take a peek here. Let me just look up Deron Bland. Both questionable to return. Yeah, so he got banged up. Did Bland get in trouble? He wasn't on the field to start the game either. Did Bland get in trouble? Foot issue. Okay. Bland might have gotten in trouble too. We can't have. Is everybody gonna get in trouble now that George Pickens is here? Jeff, who's the best player Dallas will be picking in the late first round? We got to see where Dallas is going to be picking. Maybe in the early teens, maybe in the late teens, maybe you sneak into the playoffs. So I don't know yet. And I haven't seen enough players to know yet. I tell you, for a team that doesn't have good linebackers, the guy that I'm absolutely in love with is Ohio State's Sonny Styles. 6'4", 240, incredible athlete, can play the run, can cover, former safety. That's my guy. That's probably my dream. What's the books you got behind you, Jeff? The books I have behind me are probably mostly fantasy. Let's see, over there is Dungeon Crawler Carl, Harry Potter. Those are the one, the Robert Jordan one. I forgot. This is Tolkien. This is Brandon Sanderson. This is Game of Thrones stuff. And this is the Red Rising series. A lot of that sort of stuff. Jeff, I appreciate how vocal you are about mental health and how important it is. You and Voucher my faves. I appreciate you. The mental health is more important than football, so I occasionally do venture down that road. What do you think about Jacob Rodriguez? I like Jacob Rodriguez. Jacob Rodriguez at Texas Tech is going to be one of those guys where it's like he could dang near be in the Heisman conversation. I watch him play football, and I'm like, man, that's a really good football player. And I think that he's going to lack every measurable. So is he going to be one of those incredible college football players that you're going to see go in the 4th round? And then you'll wonder later why people didn't pick him sooner, or will he get picked higher? I don't know yet. I want to watch more of him, but he's an interesting one. He's an interesting cat. Mistborn or Stormlight? Oh, that's an unfair question. I like to be reading things for longer and longer and longer, so I'll say Stormlight because there's more books, but Mistborn's at least complete. But I love them both. Jeff, is the secondary still the weakest part of our team? Probably. I think so. Trayvon Diggs, maybe back this week. Maybe. We got to see what's going on with Deron Bland. But yeah, Mahomes carved him up pretty good. Fortunately, you got over 30 points and you made some stops, but he carved him up pretty good. I think it's a combination of the secondary and the linebackers in coverage, and they're still not a great pass rushing team. They got to Mahomes a little bit, but it was getting to Mahomes after a long time. So I do think that the defense still has problems, but Quinnen Williams gives everybody a chance to play a little bit better, and we like that. We like that a lot. Big Dub, you boys got to eat some food, watch some football, and go to bed, but I do appreciate you guys. Wanted to see if we could knock out some more of the pool fund tonight before going to bed. We're at 23.1 that we owe. Shout out to any of you who have been here since the beginning when the 14 percenters is what I was talking about, the people who had the notifications turned on. It's about 14% of you. Shout out to all of you. Don't think we avoided draft talk. Need a spy. Pat's tough to spy, man. He's a shifty, elusive son of a biscuit. Every linebacker we have failed in that role tonight. But we got a dub, and that's important. Oh, I got to sneeze. I'm going to end the stream before I sneeze. I love you guys. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. Be cool to everybody. I love you. I got to go.